Step number 1 for going viral on Instagram is making sure that your page is actually set up correctly. Let me explain. Now here's how you're actually going to set up your page correctly. You need to be doing what Christine is doing right here. And by the way, I helped her gain over 300,000 followers. If we come over here, you're going to notice a few things. First and foremost, her name is Cortisol Coach. Why? Because she makes content about how to reduce your cortisol so that you lose weight. Secondly, if we look at her name over here, we're going to see the same exact thing. Cortisol and weight loss coach. So twice now, just in her name, she is telling Instagram exactly what kind of content that she creates so that Instagram can better recommend her content to the right people. In addition to that, if we come over here, we're going to see weight loss as one of her story highlights, cortisol as one of her story highlights, and then another cortisol as another one of her story highlights. And again, this just reinforces to Instagram exactly what her content is about and exactly who they should be showing her content to. Now, in addition to that, if we look at the description on her actual page here, we're going to see lose weight, burn fat, boost energy, balance cortisol levels. Again, what does this do? It literally tells Instagram, it screams to Instagram, hey, these are the types of people that I am trying to reach. In addition to that, one other thing that she does a great job at is if we look at her profile picture, it is a big picture of her. It is zoomed in with a bright background. Guess what that does? It captures people's attention and it increases the odds that they actually remember her page and then they watch her content again. And again, if we come into her reels, look at the type of success that she's seeing. 100,000 views, 500,000 views. If we scroll down a little bit, we're going to see more and more videos that just continue to do really well. And she gets a ton of views. In fact, she's getting millions of views every single month from Instagram simply by making these really quick videos to make. And even better than that, she's making a full-time living from Instagram doing it. But that was just the first thing. You also need to make sure that you have the right metadata actually set up on your posts. What do I mean by that? That your hashtags are correct, your description's correct, that you have the right text showing on the screen, and that you're doing something very specific in your voiceover. Let me explain. Now, to show you a perfect example of somebody doing this well, I wanted to show you my other client with over 300,000 followers right here. If we come over to some of her content, for example, this one right here, what we will notice are a few different things. First and foremost, we will see she does a great job at using not a lot of hashtags, but very big hashtags. Hashtag sunscreen, hashtag dermatology, hashtag sun protection. These are really large. And then guess what this does? It increases the odds that Instagram actually shows her content to the right people. In addition to that, we're going to notice the same thing within her description. We have dermatologists here, we have skincare tips, and we also have sunscreen. Now again, if we come over to the text that's actually showing on the screen here, dermatologist, sunscreen, and then sunscreen. So what do you notice over and over again? Everything in her metadata is going towards sunscreen, is going towards dermatology, is going towards skincare tips. And if we look at the comments, a bunch of people are commenting the same type of stuff. And again, this all combines to show Instagram that this post right here has the perfect amount of metadata so that Instagram knows exactly who to show it to. Because the way that this is going to work, Instagram is going to see this right here. They're going to say, okay, this post should be shown to anybody that has interacted with content about sunscreen, about dermatology, and about skincare tips, because it's very clear to Instagram that's what this post is about, and then this post actually gets shown to people. And the next part that actually gets brought in here is that this is a really good hook. There's a giant bottle of sunscreen right here. That captures people's attention. If we come over to some of her other content, we're going to see the same exact thing. So this post right here got over 700,000 views. This one, over 100,000 views. And again, we see a bunch of different things here. There are a bunch of keywords showing on the screen. People are commenting these same keywords that show on the screen. And then again, 3 really strong hashtags, skincare secrets, and she has all of these different things that actually show here. For example, insane skincare secrets, dermatologists, retinols. I don't know how to pronounce this word, so I'm not even going to bother trying to, but you get the point. She has all these different keywords giving all this metadata to Instagram, because if you're not putting text on the screen, you're not putting the right hashtags, or you're not using a good description that actually has the keywords from your post, and then people are commenting those things, or rather they're not, it's one of the reasons Instagram isn't pushing out your content. Now this brings me to change number 3, and it's one of the most important ones, and that is that you need to make sure that your content is incredibly visual. I cannot emphasize this enough. This doesn't matter as much on YouTube, it doesn't matter as much on TikTok, but on Instagram, this really matters, because in order for you to get more views on Instagram, you need to be getting across whatever information you're trying to get across as quickly as humanly possible. YouTube doesn't work like that, TikTok doesn't work like that, but Instagram does, and that's why if you're just posting the same content across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, it's probably doing well on one of those platforms or 2 of those platforms, but it might be flopping on one of them, and this is probably why. Here's what you need to change. So there are basically 3 different ways that I like to do visual content. The first one is going to be doing what Nick here does all the time, which is doing green screen content. If you have an article, you have a reference, you have something that you want to actually put in the post, actually show it by using a green screen behind you and then talking to that thing. Or you could do what Emmy does over here. She always has whatever she's posting about shown here. As you can see here, she's got a balloon under there showing what it feels like to be bloated. In this one, she has a brain. If we scroll down, she has the body's largest organ, which I think is the skin. If we scroll down here, we're going to see the stomach. If we see this one right here, she's showing off the food. And if we see this one, she has a bunch of different glasses with red water. Or this one, she has oats here. She always shows off whatever the actual post is about or whatever is being shown within the post. And the reason that she does this is because it captures people's attention. And if we look at Marketing Harry, he also does an awesome job at this. He actually creates these things right here where he fills in the blank, or where he gets rid of post-it notes on here, or where he actually scans through a bunch of different stuff like this on a bunch of different pages. Now again, these are all 3 different ways for you to make your content more visual. I would strongly suggest that you begin to actually mix these in. In fact, I want to show you one other one. If we come over to Meredith right here, she also does an awesome job at this. If we come down here, this post got 6.8 million views. She has a hook in it. Then what does she dive straight into? Actually showing what happens to your house when you die. Steps 1, 2, 3, 4. It's very quick, it's very visual, and it makes people actually want to watch the content. Now, step number 4, before I get into the last and most important thing that you need to make sure that you're changing, if you want to go viral on Instagram right now, is that you need to make sure that you're actually getting the right type of engagement. And if you are focused on getting likes or you're focused on getting saves, then you're focused on the wrong type of engagement. Instead, what you need to be focused on is 1, how many shares you're getting. In fact, 1 share on Instagram equals 400 extra views. So the more shares that you get, the more that the Instagram algorithm is actually going to push out your content. Secondly, you need to be focused on getting people to comment. But in specific, you need people to comment the keyword your video is actually about. For example, if you're making a video about credit repair, you want people to comment credit, or you want people to comment credit repair, or you want people to comment a credit card name or something like that. Because what this does is actually shows the Instagram algorithm that your viewers are engaged with whatever you're actually posting about. If they're just commenting random stuff that has nothing to do with your niche, has nothing to do with the metadata on the post, those comments aren't actually going to help you. And then the third thing that you can get to happen, and this one is really the most important, is that you have a high completion rate on your videos. And the easiest way for you to do this is to decrease the length of your videos, but please never make your videos less than 5 seconds long. If you make them less than 5 seconds long, what's actually going to happen is Instagram will probably process your content and say that it's spam. And yes, a 1 second difference in your video, the difference between a 4-second video and a 6-second video, or a 3-second video and a 5-second video, could literally be you missing out on millions of views. And if you know about making content that short, it's probably even the same exact piece of content. It's just one of those things that the Instagram algorithm really wants to see. Now, step number 5 is you need to make sure that you are posting memes on Instagram. I cannot emphasize this enough. I speak to so many creators every single day and they all say the same thing. Well, the ones that aren't growing say the same thing. They say something like, Rob, I don't want to post memes because it's off brand, or I don't want to post memes because it's going to take away from my content. And those two things could not be further from the truth. First and foremost, posting memes is actually going to show your audience that you understand how they interact with Instagram, because the majority of posts that your audience currently interacts with, I guarantee you, are going to be memes. Secondly, what these posts are going to do is 1, decrease the amount of time that you actually spend creating content on Instagram, and 2, increase the reach that your other posts get. If you post a meme, it takes you almost no time, and it's going to get a lot of reach because it gets things across. It's what people share, people comment on it, and people love showing other people memes within your niche that are relatable. And then guess what ends up happening? This increases the odds that they then see your other content, or your salesy content, or your content that's trying to drive a lead, or something like that. So not taking advantage of this would be one of the biggest mistakes that you could possibly make on Instagram right now. In fact, let me show you proof of that. Now, if we look at Nick right here, he is absolutely crushing this. He makes a full-time living posting on Instagram, and look at what we find. A meme, a meme, a meme, a meme, a meme, a meme, a meme. Almost every other post that he does is a meme. And the reason that he does that is because then it increases the odds that his posts next to that actually end up getting more reach, because what happens is people interact with the meme and then they interact with his new post, and then they interact with the meme and then they interact with the new post, and then they interact with the meme and then they interact with the new post, and this increases the reach that he gets on his new posts as opposed to him not posting memes. Now, if you want to grow faster on Instagram, the same exact way that I helped this creator get over 100,000 followers, this creator over 200,000, and this creator over 200,000 followers, well, it's your lucky day, because I want to work with you one-on-one in order to guarantee that you grow faster on Instagram. If that sounds interesting, well, please check out this video right here that walks you through the 3 different ways that we can work together so I can guarantee you grow faster on Instagram. So you finally get the growth you want, the views you want, and ultimately you end up making some money from Instagram. I'll see you over there.